The more you associate happiness with curiosity, the happier you'll be when your curiosity is satisfied. Welcome to the Happy Channel. It's TRS Clips. Very spiritually oriented friend of mine goes deep hiking in the Himalayas, beyond where most people choose to go hiking. He's going towards a particular kind of spiritual location which is very, very, very remote, very inaccessible, takes days to trek up there. On one of the nights where they are sheltered in tents, he goes out to relieve himself, and 2-3 kilometers away at least, he sees 3 to 4 extremely tall men who he believed were 10 feet tall walk in the same direction of the spiritual place that they were going to hike towards the following day. And he said that he got a mysterious and maybe even negative energy from even looking at them. He got scared enough to go back in his tent and just be with his own family. I'm not just asking you about what he saw. I'm asking you about the world in the Himalayas that we don't even know. We spoke about how even animals can be spiritual or non-spiritual or malevolent. I'm sure human beings can also become malevolent.
Yes.
Or non-spiritual. Or people who have been spiritual can move to the dark side.
Yes.
What did he see? What's happening in the Himalayas?
So what he saw, I cannot exactly tell you, because in my mind, there are certain factors. First of all, if I don't know that individual, assuming that the story is correct, if I don't know that individual, I don't know whether they really have the capacity to judge if something is positive or negative. Why? That's because if you are put into a strange environment, if you see something strange, you can feel negative even if it is not negative. It is possible. Okay, unless you have. So I can't make that judgment for him. But suppose if there is, first of all, in the Himalayas, once you start going beyond reaches of even in the lower Himalayas, if you go to Badrinath, I recently been to Badrinath for some sadhana and all that, and beyond, as you go to remote areas, let's just say that the spirituality of the previous yugas are still present there. Today, though, things have become corrupted at a mass level, and we are where we are. There is only so much we can do. But when we read stories of the Mahabharata or the even earlier eras where great yogis used to go terrific sadhana for thousands of years, strange powers they would get and all that, everything, the gods would manifest easily, things like that. So consider that level of spirituality is still present in the Himalayas. And it is not accessible for people. It is not meant for ordinary people to go there. And if the spiritual road is say 1,000, I'm just saying for a roughly, actually spirituality never ends. Never ever ends. You can stop somewhere. If you reach say 1,000 agar goal, if you reach 200, 300, you'll become a big saint and you can sit and make an ashram and do a lot of things. Okay. But there are people who may want to go even deeper. 500, 600 level tak pahunch jaye. There you cannot interact with the society anymore. You have to leave the society and you have to go to those realms. Okay. That's because there is a huge gap in the energy. Huge gap in the energy. So
what will happen if you interact with people?
No, it's not like that. It's nothing will happen. It's like say you are 30 now. Okay, so if somebody tells you that gives you a class 5 toy and says, "Can you play with it?" Same thing will happen. It's you will not like this. That's about it.
They've understood Maya.
Maya, this is beyond Maya. See, even taking in a tangent, in the Kashmiri Shiva system, they have 36 tattvas. Okay, there is a particular tattva means there are different stages of realities. Let's just look at it that way, for lack of better words. So there is a particular tattva. Beyond that, Maya also ends. But after that also, there are depth of spirituality. It doesn't end there. Depth and depth and depth. Why do you think Adi Shakti or Para Bhairav cannot be imagined? It is beyond your imagination. So that means between that beyond imagination level and between the last realm of Maya, there are still layers.
What are the difficulties there for the journeyman?
There.
At that level, what's the challenge?
That level things function very differently. It is not like us. The Maya and all that is left behind long back. Okay, you have transcended there. you follow. Actually, there is something known as the yogis, Nath yogis, and all used to believe the word called Adesh. Adesh is command. A lot of people use it today, just like that. Ki Adesh mil raha, Adesh mil. That's all mostly show and all that. But actually, there are certain chakras which are, people speak of the 6 chakras, right? No, there are more chakras than that. Let me just put it this way. And there are chakras which are not even opened in you. Yes, 6 too is functional. Because you are functioning in this world, you have this 5-6 chakras that are going on. That is why, good or bad, it is functional. So you are feeling, today you are feeling a lot of pain because there is some amount of, some emotional trauma that has gone through, etc. That is because one of your chakras is damaged. So it is feeling the pain there. Your Muladhara starts functioning, you acquire a lot of wealth, property, etc. automatically comes in. Swadhisthana starts functioning, you suddenly have a plethora of relationships that are going on. Your Manipura starts functioning, you suddenly have a commanding, whatever capability. Any leader must have a strong Manipura chakra, otherwise you cannot function as a leader. People will not listen to you. So like this, all these 6 are the traditional, normal happening in everybody, good or bad. Beyond this also there are chakras which are, it's like buds which are closed. Not just negative positive ka baat hi nahi hai. It is not functional in 99% of people. Through the power of Kundalini and Shakti, through the Upasana Devatas, if somebody reaches that realm, it's very rare, you can pass Shakti through those chakras and they will start activating. And once they activate, there is one specific chakra, then you will start getting an Adesh, which is a command. Command from whom? That is when you are at the realm where you attain a divine Guru. Guru hai. They may not be here. They are not interested in the ordinary person. Okay. Those are like, they will then, through that, they will give you an instruction ki ye karna hai, aise karna, waise karna. So in the higher realms, in the highest of realms, the conception of time changes completely. So that's why you see in the Puranas, some rishis doing, Vishwamitra is doing tapasya of Gayatri Mantra for 1000 years. How is it possible? In that realm, conception of time will completely change. Your body's aging and things like that is going to be dramatically changed. Okay. I am talking of a realm which is beyond even the normal conception of Nirvana. Let me put it this way. And this is going to shock many average understanding of people. We think that Nirvana is the end. It is the end. Yeah, it is very high, but it is also the door to some other realms of spirituality, which is very, very, very rare. And those realms are where the playground of those realms is the Himalayas. Uske niche nahi hota ye sab. Or maybe the depth of the ocean.
The depth of the ocean.
Yeah, there are. So that is it's very difficult to describe those things in normal terminology. It's very difficult. It's like a person who has not read. Suppose you are learning, kid is learning in class 3-4 addition subtraction. Suddenly you tell him there is something called a negative number. He'll freak out. Wow, negative number kahan se aa gaya? Positive number bhi khatam nahi ho raha hai, to negative kahan se aa? It's something like that. It's so obtuse. And it's not even, and again I repeat, it's not meant for ordinary, it's not needed for ordinary people. And I'm pretty damn sure that a lot of people who will hear this will completely misunderstand this. And they will start thinking from tomorrow, mere ko bhi ye sab ho raha hai.
Mere ko depth of the ocean mila.
I'm just guessing from the emails that I get. Okay. Bahut sara cheez ho raha hai. So either you will be completely in denial, ki ye bakwas hai, which is okay, fine, I'm happy with that. Okay. And problematic is that no, mere sath bhi ho raha hai ye sab cheez. ठीक है. मैं घर पे ये सुन रहा हूँ. Anyway. Wow. I have had so many emails from Kalki avatars. The fate of the world is dependent on me, and so like that. Just they're all real what I'm saying, but yeah, that depth of spirituality is something completely different. And Shiva and Bhairava and all this, they are beyond that depth.
Wow.
They are beyond that depth. Can you imagine what degree of subtlety that is? Our normal conception is Nirvana tak theek hai, uske upar bhi jata hai. There is a particular stage till which you can reach in the last 5 of the tattvas, and that is, see, in Shankhya philosophy, that's one of the 6 philosophies, there are 24 tattvas. Okay, And that is taken in Vedanta and other branches of philosophy, in the Hindu philosophy, Dharma philosophy. So 24 is the final. Kashmiri Shaiva Upasakas, and I revere them very highly because they did tremendous work on the philosophy of Bhairava. Because I like Bhairava Baba, so I like reading them for my own purposes. I'm not a scholar, let me be very clear. Okay, neither an academic nor scholar, nothing. So they added that 24 is not enough. We need 36 tattvas. 24 tattvas tak your Maya and all that is fine. Your Nirvana aa gaya. Uske baad how do you determine? What happens there? See, you have a glass of water and there is water in the ocean. Scientifically, both of them are H2O. Okay. A little bit composition mein thoda idhar udhar hoga, but more or less H2O hai. So water. So are these two same? Same, but not same. An ocean can hold an ecosystem. It can cause a, I don't know, tsunami, tornado, whatever it is. Take ocean, ships fly in it. There are fishes, this, that. So many depths, no, hardly people know. What is the difference? The difference is Shakti. And at the higher realms and higher realms, it is the difference in Shakti that makes all the difference eventually. And there is a particular, after this 24 tattvas, there's a realm, Shuddha Vidya it is called, the pure realm, where there are mantras, all these 7 crore mantras that Shiva gave out to the world and told them that you help people. Those who serve the mantra, when you are chanting a mantra, you are doing seva to the mantra.
You're charging it also.
Look at it this way, you're doing seva to the mantra like you do seva to a guru. And it is going to guide you. There is a Shakti inherent in the mantra. The Shakti of the mantra, when we sit and do Nyasa, Shakti of the mantra is in the leg. Leg means movement. It is going to cause some movement in your life, whether you like it or not. And this is done by the authority of Shiva. He has charged these mantras of all deities and given it to the world. In that realm, whoever follows the rules and does japa of the mantra, he is doing seva to the mantra. And the mantra in turn will give him something. It will guide his path. That becomes like a guru. Why does a guru is very important in the physical realm. Most people need a physical guru because most people are most people, which is fine completely. But at a very high level, you can have a non-physical entity as a guru. Only the thing is that, and this question comes to me often, that why can't we have a devata as a guru? Few people can have, but most people cannot have. Why? Because the deity is not going to respond to your whims and fancies. See, my physical gurus are very fantastic. I need something, I can go and just sit and finally they are human beings. So with a human guru, you have the advantage that there is a human component involved. Okay. But for an inanimate, non-physical guru, let's put it this way, not inanimate, sorry, inanimate is the wrong word. Non-physical guru, like a deity, etc. Their dealing is very different. They are not going to jump around by your whims and fancies. You cannot fool them so easily. You cannot do buttering up to them. Okay, wo sab nahi chalta hai. So that realm, what happens is that after that, those last, as I was saying, the last 5 tattvas, when somebody reaches that realm, the mantras are there. Then beyond the mantras, there is Shiva, there is a lot of other things. There's Sadashiva. Okay. In fact, if you look at the iconography of Ma Kali, Dakshina Kali, or if you look at the iconography of Tripur Sundari, one of the most powerful deities, goddesses. So we'll speak about it sometime. But if you look at her iconography, you will see that she's there are 4 beings holding up a throne. Those are Ishwaras. So in the normal conception, we consider Ishvara to be the ultimate. Here, Ishwaras are Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and Ishvara. Another entity. Okay. These 4 have the Ishwar Tattva. That means they are like gods, Ishwara, all powerful. With our conception of God is what? When we simplified, okay, there is this great being in the world who can create, destroy, very powerful, etc. That is Ishwara. Beyond Ishwara, they are holding the throne. Okay. On the throne, there is a white colored Shiva lying down. That is Sadashiva. Okay. On Sadashiva is Tripur Sundari sitting. So Sadashiva is a stage even beyond Ishvara, they are saying.
As in God came out of them.
Sadashiva is even beyond Ishvara. And there are some of the masters that also mention that the tattva of Sadashiva, if you are very, 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 very good in spirituality, you are exceptional, you might reach up to the tattva of Sadashiva. Tattva means it's like just like I mentioned water. So I can say that the water in the ocean and the water in the glass have the same tattva. But the Shakti is different.
You're talking about spirituality beyond Nirvana. I
Yeah,
just want
this
to...
is a different realm altogether. Okay, and as I keep repeating again, and even when I'm privately discussing with somebody, so this is not meant for ordinary people. And if you think too much, and if you're the problem with speaking all this is that if your own energy is not up to a certain level of spirituality, you are 100% going to misunderstand all these things. At the risk of being misunderstood, I'm still saying because it's coming in a flow. That's why I'm going on. So this. Till the realm of Sadashiva, you might attain in your physical form. After that realm, your body cannot hold that energy. You have to leave the body. But even if you leave the body, you are not dead. You become more powerful. Your constraints of the body goes. You become even more powerful. And these beings, they are almost non-different from Shiva. Almost non-different. If you and I were to look at these beings, we'll think this is Shiva only. They have done so much upasana. They have become almost gods. They guide various other beings and other people who are doing sadhana, etc. You are doing upasana, I am doing Bhairava upasana. Okay, and suddenly there's intuition, tying it back to what I was telling you. Intuition comes that in an hour there's a call going to come from these guys, and they will say that on specific date you have to come, and that date is important to Bhairava Baba. So you just say yes. I am thinking that okay, this thing, it's perhaps Bhairava is telling me. But how do I know it's not one of those beings? It's them also who do all this. Because they're given the charge of guiding. Bhairava is very high up. He may not come. He is aware. Tripur Sundar is aware that who is doing, or Shiva is aware that who is doing upasana. Shiva is not going to come so easily. Around him there are parivara. These are called the parivaras. Family. These are deities. So when we traditionally worship in our dharma, there is no monotheism, by the way. It's impossible. Monotheism means we worship only one. No. Even if you're worshipping one, if you're worshipping Shiva, there will be Parivar Devatas. If you're worshipping Vishnu, there will be Parivar Devatas. It's like if you're inviting, say, the Prime Minister, he's not going to come alone. Full with him security and I don't know what all will come with him. Same thing. These are so important. They are never alone. And they are aware. They are aware of everything, but they will not interfere. It is these, and these Parivar Devatas have their krama. They are all these beings in these realms. They will be the first ones to interact. You are doing Shiva Upasana and all that, etc., etc. After a stage, initial stages, nobody bothers. Katte raho. ठीक है, बहुत लंबा रास्ता है. But suppose you are able to build up a certain degree of energy, they will be the first to come and see what does this guy want actually. चाहता क्या है?
And do people want things other than just spiritual growth?
Lot of people are deep. The heart is the most peculiar thing in the human being. It has all sorts of desires. So never listen to what a person says. Never listens to, I'm just saying, that's the truth, by the way. So to judge a person, observe what he is doing. That will give you that what is the secret motivation in the heart. Sometimes people are motivated by desires which they are consciously not aware of. Ask them, why do you want to do sadhana? No, I want to reach spirituality, this, that. Some tote ki tarah rata hua, some statements they will put. Okay. And I can sense that his energy is nowhere close to that. That mumukshuta, that thing is not there in him. Give him some sadhana, after some days, ye nahi ho raha, wo nahi ho raha, because that energy is not there. So the heart is maybe somewhere else. Very often, in fact, speaking of this, I think in the Gita, I don't remember the chapter exactly. So Lord Krishna mentions this to Arjuna. That Arjuna asks, what happens if a yogi doesn't succeed? He says that he can be born in tremendous splendor. And there are some who are even higher. They may be born in a family of yogis, where he can continue that same practice from childhood. But why does somebody get born in splendor?
To distract them from...
because deep down the desire was that I want something fantastic. मैं इतना गरीब हूँ, मैं इतना साधना कर रहा हूँ, कुछ तो होना चाहिए. भगवान बोलते हैं, okay, all right, next level make you are a billionaire, you are this, that, जो भी है, etc. And then you stop your practice and next life, after that again back to where you were. Because
you realize there's nothing in the material.
No. You may not realize also, no, material has its own charm. Once you enter there are so many people I see, I will not name them, famous people, and I see and I completely feel that ये बंदा जो है, इसने in past life he has done practices, and because of those practices he's getting all this benefits, and material has its own pull. Maya is very strong, and you don't do any other practice now. Kuch nahi karte ho. Normal, you are running after you're making money or whatever you're doing, etc. etc. Fantastic, very good. Enjoy this life. Next life you'll be back to where you were before. Wapas aa gaya. Or you may go even bad, because if you misuse, if you don't have that basic conscience of right and wrong, and you indulge in really negative things, then you'll fall even worse.
Do you see elements of their sage-like nature in what work they're doing?
Some small things. When I try to observe a person, there are a few things. The words are the last thing I see. I don't care about what a person is saying, because that is the last thing. Because words are where you can lie. Okay, everybody can say many good things, but observe small things. You'll see if you practice eventually. First is the structure. From the structure, you can get some understanding.
From the physical body.
Physical body.
Really?
Absolutely. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was perhaps the greatest Kali Upasaka of the last 200 years. We Bengalis call him Thakur. Whenever a person would come to him for spirituality, he would judge, for taking initiation or something like that for guidance, he would judge them very minutely. So one of the judgments he would do is that he would look at the physical structure of the person, weigh his hands. The weight of the hand from here to here will tell you what type, if at all you can be spiritual, and what is the right path for you. See, I told you spirituality is a huge tree. If you go in the wrong path also, it will not work. Right path. If you're meant to be highly spiritual, your body will have lakshanas in it. Lakshanas means signs in it. Not for ordinary people to understand, but jisko samajhna hai, wo samajh jayega. Because your body should be able to sustain that energy. Otherwise, you are not born in that body. If you are meant to enjoy material things, you will be enjoying in a body that is fit for material things. Nature is very beautiful. This orchestra, once you start understanding, it's amazing. You will be, at a natural sense of gratitude will come towards nature, who is Mahamaya, who is Adi Shakti, who is everything. For me, who is Ma Kamakhya. I have spoken so much without taking her name. Ma Kamakhya. She's all. It's a beautiful play. It's a beautiful play. And you feel natural sense of gratitude. And this is bhakti, ahetuka bhakti. Causeless. You don't want anything. You just, what have you done?
Okay.
Amazing.
Do you want to talk about the depths of the ocean?
Now, depths of the ocean. So there is a certain realm where Mahasiddhas come. Mahasiddhas means they are considered that those are people who have gone beyond the conception of Nirvana, normal idea of Nirvana, as I was saying, the higher realms. So they can very, very high stages of sadhana.
You mean they've probably lived out human lifetimes, done their spiritual practices, gone beyond Nirvana, gone beyond even possibly that spiritual goal in the astral world, whatever happens beyond moksha and Nirvana, and then come back to this realm?
There are two ways of looking at it, by the way. So traditionally the term moksha means, the word moksha has undergone changes in its meaning over last 2000, 3000 years. Okay. So more or less what we consider moksha today is that it is an extinction of your life. So you are out of the system. It's like a video game. Chal raha hai. Moksha means ab bahut ho gaya. Main abhi computer band karke ja raha hu. Okay. But you cannot run away so easily because there's Maya and there is karma and there's various things, and you are suffering also. You are playing the game and you are losing, but you can't run away from the game. That's what life is, sort of, for most people. Okay, moksha is that somehow or the other you find a way to end the game, switch it off, and get out of the seat and go out and enjoy nature and whatever else. Ye moksha hai. Basically, you are out of the system. So how do you do that? In Nirvana, what we consider as Nirvana, it is possible to extinguish oneself completely. Finish ho gaya, you're out of the system. That is what happens for 90% of the people who attain Nirvana. Not even 90, let's put it 98. 2% are possible who may attain to the same experience of Nirvana, but may not extinguish themselves from the system. They are not out of the system. So Nirvana Nirvana by itself means that it's like a finish, end. Khatam. In fact, very interestingly, the Gita doesn't use the word Nirvana. It uses Brahma Nirvana. lot of scholarly things are there. We'll sidetrack it, but we're just saying, it's an interesting observation. I think 6 times or 7 times it comes, it uses the word Brahma Nirvana. The word Nirvana became very popular with Buddhism, extremely popular. So there is because in Buddhism, generally accepted idea, Buddhism is also very complicated. I'm not talking about the general idea. The general idea is that there is a Nirvana, and because everything is Shunya, at the end there is no Atma, Anatma and all that, etc. is there, Nirvana. The finish of this story gets over. But you can enter into the state of Nirvana and yet not finish yourself. By the way, Nirvana cannot be attained so long as you have a normal ego. We function from the ego. Nirvana cannot come until you finish the ego. That's to certain. Ego has to be completed. But suppose your ego is finished, you enter into the state of Nirvana and some other ego is entered into you of something very higher. So what happens? Ego is the root of an individual, is the fulcrum of an average individual. You are an individual because you have an ego. And ego doesn't mean the arrogance or the pride which we normally call in the English term. No, ego means something, it's like the asmita, your sense of I-ness. Who are you? You are going on the road, somebody says Ranveer, I am going on the road, somebody says Rajarshi, automatically my head will turn. This is your ego, because you are attached to your name, you are attached to your family, you are attached to your identity, you are attached to your father, mother, girlfriend, wife, husband, जो भी है पूरा ये पूरा माया का fulcrum is ego. And it is good, it is not always bad. Without the ego, you will be dysfunctional. You will either end up, if you don't have spiritual depth and suddenly your ego goes away, you will end up straight into a mental hospital. You will not be able to handle the world at all. Individualization has been created by nature, so you become functional in a way. But the spiritual goal is you transcend the ego. Okay, because this ego also individualizes you. You cannot so easily connect to the higher realms. So when somebody is entered into the state of Nirvana, the ego will not be there. And that is why once the ego is not there, as I said, if you don't have spiritual depth, you end up in a sort of mental wreck and all that. Suppose you enter into an extinction. Nirvana is extinction. Khatam ho gaya sab kuch. Okay, ego is also done. Sab khatam ho gaya. So uske baad 98% of the people don't have any business with the world. You are out. You don't have to take birth also. Finish. But the 2%, in that case, the ego your human ego is gone. There may be an identity of a deity or something higher that can enter into you. In that case, you are not going to go away. And that is going to happen only if nature has a plan for you. तुमसे कुछ करवाना चाहता है nature, because nature is higher than everybody. Okay, nature is higher than everybody, and then you go into these realms. By that time, your normal Maya and all that is finished.
So you're in an astral body when you're at the depths
Not
of
even
the
astral.
ocean.
It is very complicated to explain. It's beyond. See, there are generally speaking, there are three realms in which we function. Okay, one is the physical body realm. Okay, the other is the vital realm. Vital is where you have the emotions and all this. The whole emotional package is vital. Your power is vital. Fear is vital. Lack of fear, courage is vital. Beauty is vital. Everything is vital. Okay, all these things. It's very powerful because from the vital realm, so many things have come. Art, culture, etc. Our life is mostly vital. Uske baad there is the purely mental realm. Mental means where the mind, as it is, without emotions. Okay. The highest realm of the mind, this, when we say the Bhur, Bhuvaswa, the three things, these are the three realms actually, translated. So, average, every individual is functioning through these realms. Swa, the last of the mental realm, farthest reach of the mental realm is where there is this, look at it this way, that thing called Nirvana. You transcend that and go to what is beyond that stage, then there are totally different things. And it is very difficult to describe. It's not even physical. It's not, your astral, what we call astral by the way, is the subtle form of the vital realm. Ye itna niche hai.
Understood.
And these things are not even written in texts easily.
Because again, it's beyond words.
Because it's very difficult to describe. Yeah, actually it's beyond words.
So TRS Clips has all sorts of videos and all sorts of playlists. Make sure you explore the channel by subscribing and heading to our homepage and reading through all the playlists.